So I started to write a comment, and I was going to start doing the timestamps and do all that. I'm just going to go through parts of the video, stop the video, and have my interjection, because I noticed that everybody's using the term capitalism. Socialists use capitalism is a crime. But the reality is that you take a word, capital, and then you take the word socialism and communism, and then you go the ism. Wait, because we exchange capital freely, we're going to call it capitalism. No, it's called the free market system, where everybody takes their portion of capital and exchanges it. Capital is just a form of energy. If we all used bricks, it would be the same thing, just like in Samaria. That's the studying that I've learned. Now, people can say, oh, that's capitalism. No. They had a form of capital to exchange in lieu of bartering. Why do we do that instead of bartering? Well, I build furniture, so I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to build that IKEA bed. But since we're bartering, I'm going to say, you know what? Since you can't I'm going to trade you your house. And you go, that's not a fair trade. That's not a good barter. And I go, well, who else is going to build that thing for you, buddy? Where are you going to sleep? Well, I'm not going to sleep if I'm in my house. You see, that's why we use stores of energy to exchange. So when you start making it so you determine that store of energy, it's the same rate, right? Because who's to say that my energy is better than yours? Who's to say that your energy is better than mine? That's what capital is. It's a store of energy. So let's go back to this part. Switch to system sound. We'll listen to this lunatic for a second and then give a rebuttal.
93% of the time.
93% of the time? Where does she get that? Well, I asked Stossel TV producer Christine Tokarev to investigate.
She got it from this study.
Now, it's great that they look at all these studies, but we have our own personal history that we can look at here. Now, most people don't like it when I say we do have a form of communism in America. It's called the Constitution, and the Constitution reigns supreme. That's it. We do not live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic, which means that no matter how you want to vote somebody's rights away, you cannot do that. In a communist country, the dictator tells you. In a socialist country, the whatever cohort, which turns into a dictator. Socialism and communism go hand in hand with certain aspects, right? Now, some people say communism does work. I'm going to use the Bible to describe how communism didn't work, even with a small group of people that were segregated, because apparently 200 of the angels went down to Mount Hermon to sleep with women because we were segregated. Men, the angelic beings were apparently male, and they were not allowed to be around females. Think about that for a second. And supposedly in the story, they went against the most powerful being that ever could be, and knew that they were going to die as a result, and still did it. So let's just take a moment and just, if you're a Christian or if you've ever read the Bible, remember that story. Also, they bring up Venezuela and all these other places, and they forget to say that their currency is backed by gold. I noticed that. I noticed that they didn't say that. Now, what is our currency backed by? Our GDP. Now, when you roll through some of this, it talks about, all the indifferences of China. You really should watch this. This guy has been a good, reporter since I was a kid. I remember watching him and Geraldo, I think. I think that's what the other guy's name was. The deal comes down to the fact that we have choices here, but the system's gotten skewed where people can get more of that energy, more of that stored energy. And regardless if it happened here, it can happen in China, it can happen in, Zimbabwe too. It happens everywhere. And so what that is from is the bad morals. And the bad morals disappear when people like this, are the paramount people that society listens to. It used to be that you'd go to church and you listen to the preacher, and then if you think you did something wrong, you'd go and you'd talk. I told this guy to F off, and I slammed the door in his face, and the preacher would be like, hey, That's just like you. You know, that's you. It's a different version of you. Why are you treating that person so badly, you know? And then the morals and the ethics hit you, and you go, oh my God. Oh. And so that's why in capitalist countries, you get the best healthcare for free, you'll get the best food for free, and most of the time you'll get the best shelter for free. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Look at England. Look at all the asylum seekers. They get free food, free housing, free Wi-Fi, free cell phones. You get free cell phones in America. We don't need socialism. We already have taken all the best parts out of it, hollowed it out, threw it in the past where it belongs, and kept the parts that we need. Because that's what we do. And with our capitalist system, and there I go, using the wrong effing words. With our free market society, we allow people to establish their own capital, and then we allow them to have their own morals and their own ethics, which typically brings out to the point of people feeding the homeless. You'll see it. You'll see it. It got so bad. It didn't get bad. It got so good that in Florida, they made it so it's illegal to pass out food to the homeless. That's how good you got it here. That's how good you got it here. Don't you ever forget that either. Don't you ever forget that either. And shut up with all your stupid whatever talk. Shut up. Just shut up, orange hair, purple hair, whatever you are.